外国名嘴到访中国。
片段一。
15日間次々と急ピッチで組み上がっていくビル。その様子はまるでブロックのおもちゃ。15日間でビルを作る。やっぱり今日。
片段二。
4 times the population of the United States. This means that when China's GDP per capita becomes 23% that of the United States, China's economy becomes as large as the economy of the United States. It means that when China's per capita GDP became half that of the United States, which is still inadequate from the point of view of China achieving the highest living standards in the world, China's GDP would be twice the size of the United States, and China would become the most powerful country in the world.
片段三。
共和国是在罗马尼亚和乌克兰的中间，然后它面积非常小，人口也非常少，在350万人口。
350万什么概念呢？就是在摩尔多瓦没比铁岭多多少人。最开始你说了就只会说3个单词，对吧？你好，谢谢，听不懂。然后到你可以听懂别人，可以流利的讲中文，用了多长时间？
过了可能1年多，我就可以跟当地人本地人聊天，就是
1年多就可以了。
对，简单的聊天。对。哦。但是有一天，我一个朋友他说：“潇潇啊，你这个重庆话可以呀。”我说什么意思？什么话？他说重庆话呀。我说我没懂，我想
片段四。
Story, man. Like, okay. I love that story because you know feng shui? Mm-hmm. Like, feng shui is a big thing here in China, right? So,
is that guy real?
Oh, yeah.
He's not real. He's not real.
He's not real.
Let's take a look. He caught him out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, that guy is a hard worker.
Oh,
day and night.
On his ear.
Yeah, he's got the cigarette.
Super cool. Such a cool dude.
Anyway, sorry. Tell us the story. Back.
So, my mom was really into feng shui, and then she found out that there's a master like in Shenzhen, close to Hong Kong. So she came here to take a course. Is that how you say it? A course?
Yeah.
Yeah, course in feng shui. And
really?
She was here like for 6 months studying feng shui, and she fell in love with it. And then she was like, I gotta bring my family.
No
So she brought us in 2007 to do another course and to travel around China. And from then she was like, you have to go there, it's the future of the world.
片段五。
To have American pride about the reality. I mean, traveling 250 miles an hour, using our Chinese technology, and this is reality in China today.
Expensive. Now, 14 months on. It's crazy to even think that much time has passed. I mean, it's gone really fast, but at the same time, it feels like it was a lifetime ago that sort of coronavirus broke out. Me and my dad have talked about this before, but we feel extremely fortunate to be living in China during this time, because there are not that many countries around the world where you've been able to sort of freely travel for months around that country anyway. International travel is obviously still a problem, but in China...
片段六。
Suzhou, let's start this video. So before we dive into it, I just want to talk a little bit about where I am.
片段七。
In 1988, China had no motorways at all. And now, 30 years later, it has 84,000 miles of them. That's more than any other country in the world. And they're only just getting into their stride. Since 2011, they've been building 6,000 miles of motorway every year. 6,000 miles a year! It beggars belief, and it's not like the terrain is easy. Here, though, there ain't no mountain high enough, and there ain't no valley low enough to stop them. This bridge, for example, is 34 miles long. And then there's this one, the Douze-Beipanjiang Bridge. You could fit the London...
片段8
Cannot see me on this stage. Please just focus on the screens. I'm a little scared right now. Have you ever turned your back on someone or something because you are scared? When I was 7, I was only afraid of 2 people, my mom and dad. One night, we were having noodles for dinner. I could feel the soft light in the dining room, smell the tomato sauce, and hear my mom's voice. Sherry, put all the chopsticks on the table. Yes, and yum. Mom, Dad, let's eat. I was eating. My parents were talking. But suddenly, what's wrong with you? My mom stood up. My dad's eyes.
片段9
年内修建的，回来了，然后哇，这就是中国的速度，让我非常的震惊。大连博物馆，这是在海边，我特别喜欢到海边。这个是在劳动公园，赶上了花朝节。这个是在大连理工大学拍的，这是中国唯一的有连理的地方。这也是在星海广场。我的
片段10
Really quickly. Look around me here. This is just a small apartment complex that's been built over the last 18 months. You got it. Projects like this are a common occurrence here in mainland China. China has been building and building and building. This is just a small complex, apartment complex in the city of Nanning. 5 years ago, this place did not exist. This was farmland, people. So when you think that China is just a network of villages through a big country of rice farmers and fishermen, think again. The building...
片段11
which goes across the Charles River. The state of Massachusetts said they were going to renovate this bridge. It would take 2 years. In 2014, they said it wasn't finished. They said it would take 1 more year. In 2015, they said it's not finished. Finally, last year, it was finished 3 times over budget. That I drove across last month in Beijing. It's called the Shenyang Bridge. In 2015, the Chinese decided they wanted to renovate that bridge. It actually has twice as many lanes of traffic. How long?
片段12
It's a really good place to live.
It was more beautiful than I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very nice people. They're always good to me.
How convenient things are, like going to the gym, how nice people are, how kind, actually, how people are.
You weren't expecting that at all?
Ah, come on, of course not. No.
It was more tropical than I imagined. There's more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's the sunshine and the sort of the trees, the vegetation. As you drive between Shenzhen, Hong Kong, Guangdong, all through the province.
Jungle, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Pretty cool.
How friendly the people were.
Oh, really?
Yes, I didn't know how they would accept me, but they've been very, very friendly to me. It's been a wonderful experience.
I was surprised at how modern it is. When I first came to Guangzhou, I was surprised that, there's lots and lots of foreigners, and for the most part, they're not really Westerners here. It's definitely surprising. There were so many African people, so many Russian people. Toronto is a big city. I've been there, spent lots of time there, but Toronto's got nothing on Guangzhou.
I mean, people talk about the numbers of China. They just throw around like 1.6 billion people and cities of 20 million. When you get here and you realise the scale of it, we're from the UK, London's 10 million, there's 100 cities bigger than London in China that no one's ever heard the name of, and, the GDP of Guangdong.
片段13
The lowest evaluated tender. So it was a competitive tender all over the world. Everybody was invited to come, and that was the result of it.
We've got to look forward to 30-year-old second-hand trains in the
Second-hand, 30-year-old trains, second-hand and substandard. Right. Well, you feel very strongly, obviously, and it's something wherever we go in the country, we're hearing these complaints about our transport structure. Isabel Oakeshott.
Well, totally not. I mean, as a hard-pressed commuter who suffers daily on substandard train services, that absolutely can't be right. And I was looking into this earlier and just wondering, for the sake of argument, how the Chinese do these things. And I noticed that they were able to build a whole new station in the space of 9 hours by flooding it with thousands of workers. We should be much more imaginative about getting infrastructure in quickly instead of condemning people to being isolated in remote areas.
Mel and I shared a taxi coming here, and the commentary I can tell you in the taxi was that the roads looked better than the area where we were living in England. I'm delighted to hear it, but I have to say to you, it was much better than in Buckinghamshire. But everybody in their own area complains, and the truth is our road repairs have been very, very bad, and it's deteriorating. And yes, austerity has prevented expenditure on all sorts of things that we could need to spend money on. But equally, if we...
片段14
Now, I wrote only about 50 words a day often on this. And there are really 2 books. And some of my friends don't read the economics chapters. They only read the first chapter and the last chapter. And I've written a lot of these articles, a lot of the ideas were developed in Guangzhou because it was quite good. So this is why I love him and I hate him. I love him because he made the book much better by asking me such challenging questions, and I hate him because it was such hard work to do.
片段15
Any other country in the world into their stride. Since 2011, they've been building 6,000 miles of motorway every year. 6,000 miles a year! It beggars belief, and it's not like the terrain is easy. Here, though, there ain't no mountain high enough, and there ain't no valley low enough to stop them. 4 miles long. And then there's this one.
片段16
We have waiters hop into the restaurant's official account, look at the menu, order food, and then bam, my food would show up at the table without interacting with anyone. I didn't have to bring my wallet anymore because I was paying with WeChat payment.
3 people. Every 1,000 people who applied, only 3 actually got a registration plate, were allowed to buy a car.
This is good conversation, this whole issue, actually, and really interesting. Would you like to guess what was the best-selling car in China?
片段17
长啥样啊？和我们德国那边的菜市场有什么区别吗？还有，马克更喜欢在菜市场买东西，还是去超市里面买东西呢？上一次我把你们带上，我们去看了一下中国的超市，然后今天咱们再去一起了解一下中国菜市场的一个情况。那么首先给你们了，你们更喜欢在菜市场买东西，还是说你们觉得去超市里面要更方便一些呢？第一次看到我的视频的朋友们，你们好，我叫马克，我在四川成都。现在马克准备吃一个有营养的早餐，然后稍微准备一下，然后我们就一起出发。来嘛，我的朋友们，咱们一起去看一下。
片段18
How much more will be in China? Another 16,000 at least.
So, in my book, Destined for War, I have in the first chapter called The Rise of China. And I...
片段19
yen for travel. China alone, they have 40,000 kilometers of high-speed rail. America has none. Our fastest train is the tram that goes around the zoo in this impacted colon of a country. China sees a problem, and they fix it. They build a dam. We debate what to rename it. That's why their airports look like this, and ours look like this. 2 bus lines through environmental review. In Boston, took 16 years, 27-story skyscraper in 19 days.
片段20
Everything. China? Less expensive. Like, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Wutong Yijian. I want to ask people, like, what do they know that, is being made in China? Like, can I ask you a question? Yeah. What are your opinions on made in China?
Made in China?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's great that they're making things.
What specific products would you think of as being made in China?
iPhone, certain video games.
Thank you so much. Wow. Way fewer, like, low quality than I was expecting. Wait, is it recording?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Hey, can we ask you a question? What are your opinions on made in China?
片段21
1000 Jahre älter sind als die 5 Bücher Mose im Alten Testament. Die chinesische Kultur ist heute mindestens 4000 Jahre alt. Die Schriftzeichen stammen aus dem Jahre 3000 vor Jesus Christus.
Ist Alter ein Wert an sich? Kann
Nein.
eine Kultur nicht auch überaltert sein?
Das Faszinierende ist, dass dieses uralte Kulturvolk plötzlich zu einer Vitalität erwacht, mit der heute vor 30 Jahren niemand in Amerika und niemand in Europa gerechnet hat. Die sind nicht überaltert, die sind voller Kraft.
Warum?
Das ist auch für mich ein Rätsel. Sie unterscheiden sich in einem Punkt von allen anderen Kulturvölkern der Welt. Nämlich, es gibt keine, das ganze chinesische Volk.
片段22。
China, let's put it up. Mind-blowing. 24.8 million cars they made there. And what's extraordinary is that you can't just buy a car and then use it. You have to apply to a government-run lottery for a registration plate for your car. Now, here's one, okay? In Beijing last year, for every 1,000 people who applied for a registration plate for a car they intended to buy, for every 1,000 who applied, how many do you think actually got one?
500.
200.
600.
300. Three.
What?
3 people.
Three
For
as in
every 1,000 people who applied, only 3 actually got a registration plate, were allowed to buy a car.
This is good conversation, this whole issue.
Yeah.
And really interesting. Would you like to guess what was the best-selling car in China in 2017?
Well, Volkswagen have been there forever, haven't they? So I'm going to...